On the morning of August 5, 2009, Dalia Dippolito sat in the driver's seat of her car in a vacant parking lot in Boynton Beach, Florida, counting out $3,000 in cash to a man she believed was a contract killer. And for the entire length of that conversation, she had no idea that every word she said was being recorded by the FBI. If you're drawn to cases where the most dangerous person in someone's life is the person sleeping next to them, subscribe to Untold Record. This is exactly what we do here. Dalia was 26 years old and had been married to her husband, Michael Dippolito, for less than 6 months. From the outside, they looked like an ordinary South Florida couple. They lived together in a townhouse in Boynton Beach. They drove nice cars. They posted photographs together. Michael was a businessman in his late 30s who had recently turned his life around after a difficult past, and Dalia had presented herself as the partner who helped him do it. But inside the marriage, the texture of their relationship had begun to change quickly. In the months leading up to August, Michael had started noticing things that did not line up. Money was disappearing from accounts he had set up in both their names. Items in the home had been quietly moved or sold. There were strange charges he could not explain. At one point, he received a phone call from someone claiming his car had been used in a crime, prompting a brief police investigation that turned up nothing concrete but raised his suspicion. He didn't know it yet, but his wife had been working for months to systematically drain him of his money and isolate him from his support network. And when the financial manipulation wasn't enough, she moved on to something else entirely. In late July 2009, a man named Mohammed Shahada walked into the Boynton Beach Police Department and told officers that a woman he knew had approached him asking if he could help her find someone to kill her husband. That woman was Dalia. Officers immediately recognized the seriousness of what he was reporting and began coordinating an undercover operation. They asked Mohammed to continue his communication with Dalia and to introduce her to a contact who could arrange the hit. That contact was actually an undercover Boynton Beach police officer. Over the next several days, hidden cameras and audio recorders captured every interaction. Dalia met with the undercover officer in a CVS parking lot. She described her husband in detail. She told the supposed hitman the layout of their home, the times Michael was usually alone, and how he could be approached without resistance. She brought a photograph so the killer would recognize him. She negotiated the price. She handed over a partial payment in cash. She did not flinch. She did not hesitate. At one point during the conversation, she even joked about the situation with the casual tone of someone arranging a routine business transaction. When the meeting ended, she got back into her car and drove home to the husband she had just paid to have killed. On the morning of the planned hit, Boynton Beach police staged the entire scene at the Dippolito townhouse. Officers cordoned off the street. They placed yellow police tape across the driveway. They positioned a fake covered body on the floor inside the home. They coordinated with Michael, who was fully aware of the operation and had agreed to cooperate. A patrol car was dispatched to inform Dalia. When officers reached her vehicle, they told her that there had been an incident at her home and that she needed to come with them immediately. She was driven back to the townhouse in the back of a police cruiser. As she stepped out of the car and saw the scene staged in front of her, she collapsed to her knees in what appeared to be hysterical grief. The entire moment was filmed. She sobbed. She gasped. She kept asking the officers if her husband was okay. Her performance lasted nearly a full minute before officers calmly informed her that her husband was, in fact, alive, and that they had been recording her every action for the past several days. The recording of that moment became one of the most watched true crime videos in internet history. It would turn out that everything about her behavior during the operation had been observed in real time by detectives who had been watching her movements for weeks. They had captured the cash exchange. They had captured the planning. They had captured the photograph she handed over. They even had her own voice describing exactly how she wanted her husband to die. The defense she would later present in court was that the entire situation had been staged from her end as well, that she had been participating in what she believed to be a publicity stunt for a reality television show. The argument was that she had been manipulated into the situation and was performing for cameras she believed were filming a fictional scenario. The juries who reviewed the evidence rejected this argument across multiple trials. Her first trial ended in a conviction. That conviction was later overturned on procedural grounds. Her second trial ended in a mistrial. Her third trial ended in a conviction that finally held. In 2017, Dalia Dippolito was sentenced to 16 years in Florida State Prison for solicitation to commit first-degree murder. She is currently incarcerated and is not scheduled to be released until the mid-2020s. And sometimes the most haunting cases aren't the ones with mystery. They're the ones where you can watch a person describe, in their own voice, exactly how they plan to end the life of the person sleeping beside them. If you're drawn to cases that still echo long after they're closed, subscribe to Untold Record. There's always another file waiting to be opened.